First of all, I might say that the European Investment Bank has not only support infrastructure projects and support to public investments. We have also a significant amount of support to private sector through our lines of with intermediary banks here in Moldova. Since in April 2010, we signed the first loan with Mobius Bank for 25 million in support of SME sector. Also the same year, later in November, we signed a very important line with the Minister of Agriculture in order to support the wine industry in Moldova. It was Filiar Divan, 75 million, which has served to transform the wine industry of Moldova, passing from a quantity production to a quality production. Now Moldovan producers can be proud of the product that they are selling, and they can control the quality from the beginning to until it's bottled. Since 2007, we have provided 37% of our support already to the private sector via credit lines from the European Investment Bank and credit guarantee facilities from our sister company, the European Investment Fund. In parallel, 60% of our support has gone to public sector infrastructure. We have supported the state through infrastructure projects. We have also supported the municipality of Chisinau, and we have also supported further SMEs. During these years, we have consolidated the bank in the Republic of Moldova, the representation office, and also we have increased the visibility of the bank. I was glad to hear from Prime Minister Kiko recently in several public forums where he has said that the European Investment Bank is offering the Republic of Moldova one of the best financial conditions. This statement might be due to certain reasons. Up to now, the European Investment Group has become one of the most important lenders for the Republic of Moldova. Well, we are in the process. Okay, we are in the process because the project takes a lot of time to be implemented. This is due because they are complex projects. They are complex projects which, in some of the cases, might require change of legislation. We are also facing a lot of changes within the governments. We are also facing changes of priorities. We need to build capacity. We need capacity with the promoters, the final beneficiaries, the ministries. We also need to follow international procurement rules, which are quite lengthy process. And additionally, we also have strict disbursement conditions once project completion is done. Also, when we look at the technical assistance, we have to say that the support that the European Investment Bank is provided to support our projects, the projects that we finance and we implement. We need to provide technical assistance in order to prepare feasibility studies, to build this capacity, to support the procurement process, to support the whole implementation process, together with a strict follow-up or monitoring of the project while implementing and once it's being repaid. The European Investment Group is very pleased to have this agreement in place. It is important for us because we understand that the government shares our values and our concerns as well. The project is going smoothly. It's going smoothly, but everything which is under this agreement is confidential. And it's confidentially not only for the public, but also for me in that sense, because everything is treated directly between the CNA and the investigation department of the bank. First of all, I have to say that the European Investment Group, as the EU bank, the Bank of the European Union, started its activities in Moldova because we received a mandate from the European Union to come and support the Republic of Moldova in its path towards a possible EU integration. Since then, we have built already a portfolio of almost 875 million euros. That has gone through investment financing or direct credits or guarantees facilities. Up to 2014, our support was almost 600 million euros. Since then, we have supported the government. We have supported the government with infrastructure projects. We have supported the government in its national strategy for energy supply. We have looked at the gas, we have financed Transgas for the gas pipeline, which is going to be finished within a few months and fully operating. We are also financing the government in the electricity energy connection to Europe via Romania for another 18 million. We have also supported the government in the implementation of the national strategy for solid waste with the first tranche of 25 million that we signed at the end of last year out of a whole program that the board of the European Investment Bank has approved of 100 million. We have also supported the government in the restructuring of the railway sector to Califorata with another 15 million, which is being used for the purchase of new locomotives, of which a few of them will be delivered before the summer, and the remaining sometime around the dates announced for the presidential elections. And also another component, which is the railway structure to the harbor of Giurgiulesc. In parallel, we have provided further support to SMEs. We have provided 50 million of generic lines to banks, plus another line of 120 million of the fruit gardens of Moldova to the Ministry of Agriculture in order to support the agro-fruit sector of Moldova, covering the whole range of products of the industry. In parallel, the European Investment Fund has come up with a support of 50 billion euros in guarantee facilities, in which, together with the credit lines, is a huge support to the SMEs in the country. In parallel, we have also financed the municipality of Chisinau in some of the projects. Currently, since 2014, we have provided the municipality with a loan of 10 million euros in order to support the rehabilitation of public buildings in Moldova, in Chisinau. So this is very important because these buildings are mainly hospitals, schools, and kindergartens. So it also has a component to support or to rehabilitate existing hospitals in Chisinau. All this is a significant support, which is there, it's available, and now we are working towards the implementation. When it comes to defining how much we can finance every year in the Republic of Moldova, we don't have a real figure in line for every year. It happens that up to 2014, the average was 100 million, as you correctly stated. However, after the banking crisis, we were unable to finance anything in 2015. In 2016, we came back with almost 80 million euros of other support. In 2017, we increased it to another 110 million. And then in 2019, we more or less came back to 80 million euros of support. But however, we do not define the amount that we shall finance or we shall provide to the Republic of Moldova. All this depends on the government priorities. On the government priorities, the fiscal space, and other important in aspects that we need to take in consideration. Its priority, let's say, is successful. We we are here because there's still plenty of support that the European Union can provide to the Republic of Moldova in benefit of their citizens. And therefore, we have this mandate to come to be in the Republic of Moldova to support. It is successful. Yes, because up to now we have already built a portfolio of 875 million euros. It takes time to implement. Yes, we would desire that things and projects are implemented quicker so we can come with other support. The fact that we are blocked in one project for many years impedes us to continue or come back with other support. So the sooner that is implemented, we can address our efforts, our resources to other new projects. So it's important that we increase the implementation rate of the projects. But all this is sometimes blocked due to change of priorities when the new governments, when there is a change of government, or because there are political factors which delay the implementation of the project. Yes, definitely solid waste is a big problem of the Republic of Moldova. Wherever you go around the country, you see illegal landfills all over the place, which the corresponding sanitary and ecological risks. Therefore, the European Investment Bank is supporting the government of Moldova in order to implement the national strategy of that has been put in place for the period of 2013 up to 2023. This implementation is done in line together with the promoter of the project, which is the Minister of Agriculture, Regional Development of Environment. Our project is only part of this national strategy because it's only focusing on municipal solid waste. Also, it's a project that we are looking at how to collect waste, how to sort it out, how to treat it, and how to deposit the remaining waste into appropriate landfills that we will build. It's important that citizens realize about the risk of not treating waste correctly. And therefore, it's important that the first sorting, in order that this process to be efficient, starts at home, because it's where you can best split the different waste and afterwards reutilize and be able to include within the circular economy. The project has been defined by the government of Moldova through the Minister of Agriculture, and has splitted the country in 8 waste regions, of which, for the moment, they have decided to start with a pilot phase. This pilot phase will determine how to implement the actual solution for the whole country, and afterwards could be replicated in the other regions. They will be implemented as soon as the different feasibility studies are ready and there is environmental impact assessments of the solutions, plus the agreement from the different municipal councils. This project has been implemented after a big and important thinking process, where the different waste components, different type of waste, different volumes, possible solutions that could be identified for the implementation of the project, and also considering the cost element, what is feasible under a cost point of view. And in order to, all these components have been analyzed in detailed feasibility studies that are being produced for the different regions. I think that the health sector is another sector which needs some actions in Moldova. Nothing has really been significantly done in many, many years. Is still planned for a situation which is currently not the reality. And the EIB has offered the government of the Republic of Moldova a support to financing measures within the health sector. Taking the opportunity or the actual needs that are coming with COVID-19, the EIB group has offered financial support for the government in order to tackle certain components of the health sector. First of all, we have offered support to finance short and medium-term measures or equipment within hospitals so they are correctly equipped for current or future pandemics. This is a support that can be implemented quite quickly and is available for the government to use. In parallel, we have also added a component to reinforce the oncological services in the hospitals. And finally, we have offered our support already since some years ago to finance the design and construction of a new hospital. A new hospital that could be in Belts or in Cajul. It all depends what are the priorities of the government. We have put our support in the table, but we are waiting for the government to decide how they want to use it or in which of the aspects or the components they are interested. I understand that up to now, with the current situation of COVID, the situation has been stressful, and therefore most of the focus of the government have gone into that direction. However, we are waiting to see whether once the COVID situation is under control, to see which part of this support the government will be interested. I was pleased yesterday to read from the President Dodon that he made an announcement that he's going to tackle the comprehensive health sector reform. We welcome that initiative, but we would be interested to know and to understand which is this strategy, this national strategy, in order to see which are the components that we can come and offer our support. We try to match the strategy from the European Union in the Republic of Moldova with the priorities of the government. We try to do this match and see what are the components that we can finance under this mandate that we have. Beside the two projects that we have just mentioned about solid waste and the health sector, the EIB group has also received, first of all, we will focus on the implementation of the current projects that we have already committed or signed to be implemented in the short term. In parallel, we have received a request recently received a request from the government to support them in the financing of new roads infrastructures. We are limited to, because of our mandate, to finance only infrastructures within the trans-European network of roads. Therefore, that means that we can only focus with the remaining facilities that are existing in Moldova to the X from north to south. And we have received a request to finance the M5 from Kriva to Belts, I think, then the M14 up to Chisinau, the remaining parts of the remaining sections of the ring of Chisinau. I must say that the EIB is already financing the first section of the ring of Chisinau that goes from the M1 to Laloveni, and therefore with this request we will complete the circle around the city of Chisinau. Additionally, they have also asked us to look at the M3 that goes to the harbor of Giurgiulesc. Together with this request, we also recently received another request from the Ministry of Finance to increase our support to the railway sector. in order to complete the financing requirements for the infrastructure part to the harbor of Giurgiulesc. We are also in the process of finalizing an agreement with the government in order to tackle or to rehabilitate public buildings with energy efficiency measures all through the countries. This project is important because it replicates the model that we have already in place with the municipality in Chisinau, but at a national level. It's also important because, same as in Chisinau, most of the buildings will be schools, hospitals, and kindergartens. So, also has a component which fits very well within the strategy of supporting or rehabilitating or making something in the health sector. Finally, in 2014, the European Investment Bank did a deep and comprehensive feasibility studies about the measures that could be implemented to tackle risk flood events that could occur on the whole territory of the Republic of Moldova within all the river basins. We did this request upon the request of the Minister of Environment in 2014, and is ready to set up a project in order to identify what of the measures which were identified in the feasibility studies can be put forward and started to tackle for future flood risks. With small investments, you can achieve a lot of savings due to floods. The feasibility study was done in 2014. However, based on the review that other international donors have done of that study, we can conclude that that feasibility study is still valid and can be worked upon.